Africa's first G20 summit adopted declaration as EU leaders respond to the US peace plan for Ukraine. So the G20 meeting wrapped up now, and the declaration, instead of being at the end, which America said is not allowed to happen at all without them, by the way, happened right in the beginning. Ramaphosa actually started with the declaration on the very opening of the G20, and somebody actually had to say to him, "You're still alive," before they cut that off and carried on in privacy making the declaration, because America obviously said, "Don't you dare make a declaration." Then America repeatedly tried to get junior officials to come in and do the handover. South Africa refused directly every single time and said they won't. It will be done on South Africa's terms. So just keep prodding this relationship issue with America. So that was quite interesting to see. And he was giggling and making light of America regularly, to the point where America's White House said that he's running his mouth and it's not appreciated. So relationship with South Africa not doing too great right now. And we'll see what happens in the days ahead and what the response is going to be further, especially on so many things that we need sorted with America that we couldn't get sorted before. Does Ramaphosa really think he's going to get it sorted now? But no, Ramaphosa saw this as his moment of glory in the sun, and he wasn't going to let anything stop him from taking center stage. The G20 leaders adopted the statement addressing the climate crisis. Man, are they in for a surprise when they see the climate crisis detailed in the books of the Bible and mentioned specifically with what lies ahead. They also covered other global issues at the start of the G20 conference in South Africa on Saturday, a declaration that comes amidst US boycott and opposition as EU leaders responded to the US plan for Ukraine. The two-day summit, the first held in Africa, opened on Saturday with leaders and top government officials from leading and emerging economies coming together in Johannesburg without US participation following the boycott by Trump. The spokesperson for the South African President, Cyril Ramaphosa, told reporters that the summit's adopted declaration on the climate crisis can't be renegotiated, citing language that Washington has objected to. President Cyril Ramaphosa emphasized the need for urgent action on climate financing. Now, the thing here you've got to realize is climate change might be a real thing and a big thing for a lot of people that have bought into that. Ramaphosa hasn't bought into that. This country sees an option here to get money, more money. Give us money so we can fight climate change. Meanwhile, we're going to steal that money and use it for corruption. Urgent action on climate financing, just transitions, and support for vulnerable nations. He called for a virtuous cycle of reduced debt, because we can't pay back the previous debt because we've already stolen the money. Higher public investment. Please give us more money. And more rapid and inclusive economic growth. Bring the money. Ramaphosa also called for an end to conflicts and wars around the globe and for a just, comprehensive and lasting peace. A time of peace and security, peace and safety. He has urged the global community to scale up post-disaster reconstruction and increase the quality and quantity of climate finance to developing economies. Give us more money. So that pretty much, from a South African, wraps up the first African G20. Again, watch what Donald does in the days ahead and what he has to say about the G20 and the difficulty in getting South Africa to hand over to America, who's next on the list for the G20, and the issues arising from other leaders making statements against America for not pitching or showing up for the first African G20 as well, and what Trumpy is going to say to them as well. So a lot of strained relationships going forward into the week ahead. Just another day here at the end of the age of mankind. Never a dull moment. Shalom.